OnlyFans. It's a name that's become almost synonymous with the creator economy. But do you know where it all began? Back in 2016, a man named Tim Stokely founded the platform in London. Now, his idea was simple yet, at the same time, groundbreaking. It was all about giving creators a direct way to monetize their content. No middlemen, just creators and their fans. A subscription model that allowed users to pay for exclusive content while creators pocketed 80% of the revenue. Effective, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, that kind of model must have been a game changer for creators. Direct funding like that removes so much of the guesswork.
Absolutely. It bypassed traditional ad revenue models where creators often earned pennies on the dollar. Instead, OnlyFans gave creators control over their earnings, which made it hugely popular in niches ranging from fitness and music to, well, adult entertainment.
And it didn't take long to catch on, did it?
Not at all. Though the platform started steadily, its real explosion came during the COVID-19 pandemic. Think about it. People were stuck indoors, looking for outlets to connect and entertain themselves. From March to April 2020, user and creator numbers rose by a staggering 75%. And during its peak surge, OnlyFans was seeing 200,000 new users and between 6,000 to 8,000 new creators joining each day.
Wait, every day?
Yes, daily. Insane figures. The pandemic essentially catapulted OnlyFans into a new realm of popularity. Part of that was word of mouth, sure, but celebrity endorsements played a massive role as well.
Oh, that reminds me. Wasn't Beyoncé one of the celebrities who gave it a bit of a boost?
That's right. She mentioned OnlyFans in the remix of Megan Thee Stallion's Savage back in April 2020. The traffic spike after that was immediate, around 15% growth in no time. And beyond her, numerous other celebrities hopped on, like Cardi B, DJ Khaled, Tyler Posey, and more. Each of them used the platform to connect with their fans, albeit with varying approaches.
It really seemed like everyone started talking about it. But with all this rapid growth, managing the company must have been quite the task.
Indeed. And this is where leadership becomes critical. You see, Tim Stokely, the original founder, stepped down as CEO in late 2021, and Amrapali Gan took over briefly before Keily Blair assumed the role in July of 2023. Blair, a legal expert with a strong background, has brought a sharp focus on security and compliance, which has been key as the company navigates its global growth while managing its fair share of controversies.
It's fascinating how much the leadership has shaped its trajectory. From Stokely's conception to Blair's direction now, it's like watching a relay race where each runner brings something unique to the team.
Exactly. What's clear is that OnlyFans has grown far beyond its humble beginnings. With over 3 million creators and 220 million registered users, as of 2023, it's a powerhouse in the digital creator space. And we haven't even touched on some of the challenges and decisions that came along the way.
Now, as incredible as OnlyFans' rise has been, that kind of meteoric growth isn't without its difficulties. One of the most pivotal moments came in 2021 with the controversial proposal to ban sexually explicit content, a decision that shook the very core of the platform's identity.
I remember that. There was such an uproar. Why did they even consider banning explicit content when it was such a big part of their growth?
Good question. The company faced immense pressure from banks and payment processors, with institutions like BNY Mellon and JP Morgan Chase allegedly refusing to work with them due to the nature of their business. This wasn't about MasterCard or credit card companies directly, as some believed. It boiled down to banking relationships that are essential for processing payments.
So it wasn't the content per se, but the logistics behind the scenes.
Exactly. OnlyFans announced the ban in August 2021 with plans to enforce it a month later. Needless to say, the backlash was immediate and overwhelming. Both creators and users argued that the platform was abandoning its founding principles. 6 days, just 6 days later, they reversed the decision after claiming to have secured the necessary assurances from their financial partners.
6 days? That's like such a quick turnaround. And honestly, it's such a stark reminder of how reliant these platforms are on external forces, isn't it?
Absolutely. It was a strategic retreat, but the damage was done. Many creators, especially those in adult content, felt betrayed. To them, the mere suggestion of abandoning explicit content undermined the trust they had in the platform.
And trust plays such a huge role here, doesn't it? Speaking of which, wasn't there criticism over how they handled more serious issues, like child sexual abuse material?
There was, and still is. Despite implementing selfie verification systems and third-party verification tools, criticisms over child safety and handling of abuse material have been persistent. A transparency report released by OnlyFans in 2021 attempted to show they were addressing the issue by tracking and reporting child sexual abuse material to authorities. But, honestly, the numbers they reported left many scratching their heads. Some figures seemed contradictory, and calls for greater accountability grew louder.
I mean, it sounds like they took steps, but critics felt they weren't enough.
Right. There were allegations from advocacy groups and even members of Congress that minors were using the platform to sell explicit material. These criticisms gained traction when only 14 accounts flagged for such content were reported to child protection organisations in a single month. Compare that to the incidents reported by, say, Twitter or Facebook, and it looked thin at best.
That's horrifying. And then there are the data security issues too, which, well, don't exactly scream safety.
You're spot on. In 2020, for example, up to 4 terabytes of content, allegedly hacked from OnlyFans accounts, were leaked online. And while the company claimed there was no security breach on their end, many creators and users began questioning how safe their data and content actually were. Those kinds of events damage trust. And as you said earlier, trust is everything when it comes to platforms reliant on their community.
Exactly. So it's like this double-edged sword. They want to grow responsibly, but they're constantly fending off challenges that could tarnish their image. I wonder how all this impacts users and creators who, keep the platform alive in the first place.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? On one hand, they've got to manage these controversies and strengthen their operational integrity. On the other, keeping creators and users engaged means maintaining a reputation they can rely on. So far, it seems they've survived the storm, but these controversies aren't going away anytime soon.
Despite all these challenges, there's no denying OnlyFans' remarkable success. It's not just a platform, it's a key player in the creator economy, a growing multi-billion-dollar engine. In fact, in 2023, OnlyFans brought in a staggering $1.3 billion in revenue. That's billion with a B, an accomplishment that highlights its impact not just on itself, but on countless creators out there.
Right? And isn't the average earning for creators still about $1,300 per year?
Spot on. Now, for some, $1,300 a year might not sound like much, but for many content creators, this is just the foundation, something they build upon. It gives them the opportunity to turn a passion into a livelihood. Remember, creators keep 80% of their earnings, so the potential scales dramatically for those who grow a large following.
And it's not all about adult content anymore, is it?
Not at all. While the platform initially gained fame, some might even say notoriety, for its adult-focused content, OnlyFans has been working to diversify. They've actively positioned themselves as a home for all sorts of creators. Take OFTV, for instance, their safe-for-work streaming platform, which launched in 2021. It focuses on fitness, music, comedy, and more, content that's family-friendly and advertiser-friendly.
Right, and didn't they also start offering creative grants? Something about supporting fashion designers and musicians?
Exactly. Their creative funds have awarded significant prizes to emerging talent, £20,000 grants for musicians, for instance, and even a reality fashion competition, judged by industry icons like Rebecca Minkoff. All of this helps position them as more than just a hub for adult content. They're aiming for a slice of the mainstream entertainment sector.
So they're kind of saying, look, we're more than one thing. We're flexible.
Absolutely. And that flexibility has allowed OnlyFans to maintain relevance while expanding its audience. From fitness influencers to comedy creators, they're building a platform that appeals to a wide array of interests.
Do you think this shift is working, though? I mean, are they pulling off that mainstream transformation?
Well, it's a work in progress. But they've made substantial strides. For example, partnerships with celebrities and the launch of non-adult initiatives are already giving them broader appeal. More than that, they're carving out a unique space within the creator economy, a space where direct support and community engagement define success.
It's kind of incredible, isn't it? A platform that started as a niche idea has now transformed into something so impactful both culturally and financially.
It really is. OnlyFans captured lightning in a bottle, and despite the challenges we've discussed, their ability to adapt and grow remains impressive. What's clear is that they've redefined how creators can connect with audiences and earn a living, and that's not something we see every day. So, on that note, it's fair to say OnlyFans has become a powerhouse, a fascinating case of innovation in the digital space.
And that wraps it up for today. What an eye-opener this episode has been.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time on our journey into the stories that shape our modern world.